Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast, Straight to the Apex, and the boys have got a special guest. Ooh. Stay tuned to find out who their special guest is. Before we get started with Formula One podcast, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment, and dropping in reviews you might want to drop, and just get this podcast out there into the world. Right, enough from me. Let's hear from these guys. So here we go. This is CookieCast, Straight to the Apex.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yo, how we all doing, guys? How we all doing? Welcome back. Thank you, Andy, from CookieCast. Like, subscribe to the channel on all social media platforms. We are available. Get on it. You name it. Episode 14 of Straight to the Apex F1 podcast. I am joined by James.
Hello.
Mark.
Hello.
And our special guest, Adam.
Hello, guys.
So, Hungarian GP at the Hungarian ring, whatever, that fucking annoyed me all the way through. That pronunciation,
to pronounce it, or
just every pronunciation was going, depending on where in Europe you're from.
Didn't as know you as much as something else that happened in the race. Have you seen the video, Adam?
No. What annoyed
can
him?
we play the audio on here?
Oh, do you think we can?
One second. Let me dig it up.
Right.
If you don't mind, dear Tony.
Is this my outburst?
What point? At what point in the race?
I think you'll guess. Right, this is a game, Adam. As you're the quizmaster later, can you guess which part of the race this is about?
Okay, play the vid, and I'll scope up how annoyed or happy he is.
Right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Come again! The fucking VFC! Someone needs to fucking say something! Some fucking disgrace! How is it fucking playing? It's fucking playing miles away! Fucking joke!
I guess it was the safety car then, the virtual one that annoyed him. The VSC doesn't it?
So to add context, that was the first VSC on the second lap. And again, George, up to his old fucking tricks, decided to put his foot down and disappear. And somehow got a
can't annoy you though. It's this.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the video?
There's 68 laps to go though. There's so much more racing that he'd not done anything at that point. He'd got so much to do. You could have put him on pole with 30 meters head start or something daft, and he would have still got caught by the others.
Let's get to it. Yeah, it just pisses me off. But anyway, what was your initial thoughts? Just in a couple of sentences. What do you think? What did you think to the Hungarian GP? James, start with you.
Absolutely unexpected and surprising.
Interesting. Mark?
I would copy them words, and I would also say it was a shame we didn't have rain with about 6 to 7 laps to go. That would have really spiced up an already good race.
Mm-hmm. Adam?
It pained me to admit that Verstappen has got it in the bag now this year. And this race proved to me more than probably everyone else already knew it. But to me, this proved, he's another world champion, isn't it, for him? This one's in the bag. That race, that drive proved to me, you know what? Yeah, he can get through the pack. He's pretty much done it now.
And the way he drove in that race, I mean, to come from P10 and go on to win it, which there's only 2 other drivers that have done it in 35 years. To use the words you've just used, Adam, it pains me to say, but Max Verstappen is such a
It was impressive.
Yeah,
but I think I was going to say, Verstappen. I agree with both of you, 100%. The team has also won him it this year because that strategy, hats off. You know, like they've nailed everything. You know, they've had reliability issues, but they've still got it right, haven't they? They've still got him in the lead, and Ferrari have knackered it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just about to say, shame Ferrari didn't have a strategy.
Whoa. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Let's just...
Let's rein it back.
Max won, came from 10th.
Why don't we talk about practice 3, in which we saw the best Williams performance for a long time?
Tell you what, Adam.
Yep.
Let me stop you there. Let's start on practice. Let's get into it.
We've got a whole section on it. Yes.
FP won. Sainz was the quickest. And that was it. FP2. This is where it really kicked off, guys. Leclerc was the quickest.
Yep.
Lando was quick. Ricciardo, the McLaren's in the top 5.
Yeah.
Hamilton was not happy with the gap over the radio. And then, did anybody see the video of the Lando Norris tyre change?
No.
So the jack broke, and there was a bit of confusion in a few seconds that followed. And one of the engineers tried to put the rear left on backwards. So he tried to put the outside of the wheel onto the... And it's a video you need to see, because I was absolutely pissing myself. Go find it. But to be honest, the whole thing this is the second best thing out of practice. Sainz got stuck behind the absolute Delta Chad that is Latifi, and I'm going to come up. At the end of this season, I'm going to get a T-shirt with this on. Traffic with this stupid guy, this Williams.
That's brilliant.
Yes. FP3, it was a bit wet, and obviously when the rain comes out, when God shows his power, Latifi shines.
I mean, that's when you see the real talent, to be honest.
Latifi comes to play. Yeah. Latifi the king.
I mean, we had Vettel crashing, Alonso did a very nice drift, Gasly drifting, Leclerc drifting, but it was Latifi on the intermediate tyres that wiped the field. So congrats to him. He couldn't believe it himself. He said, "Were people clapping for me on the radio?" I think they definitely were.
You know what? Nicholas Latifi is that good. He's fed up of F1 and he just drives shit because it's more fun for him.
Yes. It's too easy for him.
He likes looking at the
back.
Yeah,
he does about 2 or 3 laps. He goes, I'm fucking bored now.
I could win, but I don't want to. I mean, what a guy.
What a legend.
I don't know what's going on in Canada, but I think he's got the keys to every city there.
What? But for finishing top of P3?
Getting knighthood and everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. Get him a knighthood after that.
It's not just any knighthood, they're going to give him Lewis's.
Interesting practice. Gave the sprinkle to the start. Qualifying, not much to say really. Q2, Perez got his time deleted for track limits, but then was brought back again because he didn't go over the track limits.
That was brilliant. That fucking loved that.
Yeah,
I need that. No, I didn't exceed it. All right, there you go. You can have it, but you're still shit and you're not going any further.
Still finished 11th.
That was right, weren't they? Because when it showed it on the replay, he was touching the white line, so there was a bit hasty in deleting him. But he had to be Red Bull, didn't it? He had to be Red Bull that got it reinstated.
Yeah.
What a laugh. Anyway, talking about Red Bull, Q3, Max Verstappen. again, on the radio, fantastic. Nothing works. Fuck this, fuck that, fix this issue.
It
And he ended
sounded
up
like you.
10. I know. Couldn't believe it. Wow.
It's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
And then Russell absolutely sent it and got his first pole, which congrats to him. He nailed it.
Did that hurt saying that, Tony? You all right?
It did. I was watching it, and then he just. Oh, well, actually, I think I woke up, and then Russell crossed the line, and the commentators on Sky just went mental, and I was like, "Am I in a nightmare? Is this happening?" He's on the radio.
From a TV point of view, though, we had no idea Russell was on a cracker of a lap. If you watched it on sort of the Sky Stream or F1 TV, it was all Sainz, Leclerc, and they were Crofty and the team were going, "Oh, Sainz has got pole. This is outstanding, brilliant. 1, 2. They've got a full stack at the front. Ferrari." Then Russell went over and they just went ballistic because the TV director missed all of his lap. He never saw a time update.
But I'm not surprised why, though, because after the first run of Q3, Russell was half a second off Sainz. Where did it come from? No wonder that. I bet the TV director was like, "We don't need to show the marks, lads. Leave them. It's Ferraris in the bag."
The TV directors sometimes are appalling, though, aren't they? You'll end up watching like an Ocon lap for no reason, like whatsoever, and Max is going round on his pole lap or getting pole. But yeah, it came from out of the blue, didn't it?
There was loads like that. I mean, it happens pretty much every weekend, but this weekend especially, stuff going on in other parts of the field where cars are just overtaken in weird places, and it's like, I'm not watching that. It's like it's almost as bad as when I was watching Miami.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I mean, it was an exciting qualifying. Let's say that. Russell first, no one saw that. Sainz second, Leclerc third, Norris fourth, Ocon fifth. Alonso beat Hamilton. He was in seventh, but Lewis had a DRS issue. So bought the last lap.
Yeah,
that's a shame.
Open. Yeah.
Ricciardo ninth, and Max 10th. That was very surprising. Made it out to be a good race, good start of the race, good race in general. So yeah, any other thoughts? Any other reaction?
I've just got one. So obviously before the race, in qualifying, Max had his engine issues. So pre-race, Gasly and both Red Bulls all changed their engines. Gasly had to start from the pit lane. Red Bull got special dispensation from the FIA and didn't take any grid penalties. Why is that?
It's weird.
Very strange. Very strange. I don't know.
You know, again, Red Bull have had issues, and they've won the race over it. But they've changed the engine. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why.
No,
it's going to happen to. I think they're going to get penalised sooner or later, aren't they? I think it's getting to that point midway now where, and I think the commentators touched on it, whereby they're getting to the end of their allowance and they're going to have to start taking penalties here, there, and everywhere. It's just interesting. Again, that's a different dynamic.
We've all said it a couple of times as well in previous episodes as well. I mean, we know Ferrari is going to be getting an absolute shed load, an absolute ton of penalties, especially when it comes to the engines, because, I mean, Christ, they've already exceeded their allowance and we're only just halfway.
Yeah.
So they've gone through three and a bit engines in 13 races. They've still got another 12? I think it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, something like that.
If they're going to carry on like that, that's another 3 engines. That's another 3 penalties. Red Bull, they've had their issues as well. They're not far behind, but they've got a little bit more. I think what's going to be interesting after this break is the changes they've all got to make to the floor. I think that might change a few things as well.
Yeah.
These FIA keep trying to, they keep putting these little rules changes in, and it keeps, and they're having to adapt. Just adds more excitement, I think. More excitement for the viewers.
Make the season interesting. I mean, Mercedes are only a couple of points behind bloody Ferrari now on the constructors. Carry on like
what happened?
Let's get to that.
Why were Mercedes so far away in practice, and where did Russell pull that lap from? Why were they in contention for the race and qualifying? Like, what the hell have they done? Is the car that unbalanced? Is it that fragile? It's, what's going on?
They were struggling so much in the wet, weren't they? In the practice and everything else, when it was hammering it down, they were struggling. They didn't do great at all. It was looking like P7s, P9s all the way and stuff like that. And then, I mean, Christ, if Hamilton hadn't have had that bloody DRS issue, we could have been looking at a bloody Mercedes front row again, Mercedes lockout. But
I think practice
they
is
absolutely
so
own qualifying. Finished Q1 in 1 and 2. Q2, I can't remember whereabouts I finished there. I got more notes on Perez than anything else. But then in Q3, I mean, Russell just pulled out an absolute stonker of a pole.
Mm-hmm. You think it's just complicated?
Dude.
It's so practice. What? They must have a plan, and they must know, right, we need to test this tyre at this corner or this part of the track to see how it copes, or part of the car at this point in the track at this speed to see how it copes. Or do you know what I mean? I'm not an engineer, so it's really hard.
I think it's just a case of Toto's listened to last week's podcast when we were making the joke about, hey, all you've got to do is drive faster than the rest of them. And he was like, it's a good pub.
Maybe
we just need more power.
Maybe they was inspired by Latifi in practice free, and they was like,
that's true.
We can do it. We can do
Once
it.
you see a real threat on the grid, you change your mentality, don't you? Like, oh, God, he's brought pace here today. We're going to have to tune that engine up.
Yeah.
Engineers need to work all fucking night on that machine and that car, because we are not letting a fucking Williams beat us here. No way. Get on it, lads. Get on it.
You're right, though, T. There has to have been a load of bloody trial and error. I mean, we know there's been trial and error all the way through the season, but don't know what it was. Whether it's just a change in the weather or what, but
I was just going to say, they put it down to, didn't they, that it was a lot cooler on Saturday, Sunday, and they don't fire the tyres up as much, so they can push them and they stay cooler. But it's such a night and day, isn't it, from practice to qualifying and then the race. It's I know Toto said whatever they did in practice on Friday, they said we'll just do the opposite from now on. And then he said, whatever we did for get ready, the cars ready for qualifying, we've got to remember exactly every step we did, because it worked.
Yeah. But we even made notes as far as to what the guys had for breakfast that day and stuff like that.
Dear me. Anyway, so that was qualifying. Set it up, really. Yeah. But before we get on the race, bit of news. Sad news. Sebastian Vettel is retiring at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. What are our thoughts on that? Mark, do you want to start?
Not surprised, because he's been making the noises all year, hasn't he? That I think this has been coming. He's not a happy bunny, but sad.
Very sad. What about you, James?
It's the same, really. I mean, we've touched on it a couple of times this already in couple of weeks and stuff like that. I'm starting to like the guy again. When he was at Ferrari, we all kind of went off him. He was always bitching and moaning and stuff like that. And then we kind of was like, you know what? Yeah, the whole kind of number one thing, like Mark was just saying there. But yeah, all the stuff he's been doing this season, it's like, you know what? It's nice to see the old Seb back. He's kind of understand why he was bitching and moaning. He had a lot of pressure clearly at Ferrari. And then that came out, and gutted, really.
Good. Adam, anything to add?
Yeah, just sad to see him go. I think, like what Mark said, at the end of every Q1, when he's 16th, 17th, 18th, you hear him on the radio. They have an habit of going to him to make sure they put on TV his reaction to him being told he's out. And every time you can just see that he's so bloody gutted. And he is putting everything into that car that he can. But the car's just been beating him up this year. It's not good enough. And then Alonso made a statement of saying sort of like maybe these drivers at the back of the grid should retire and stuff like that. And it makes you wonder, it's right for the bloke. It seems cruel that he's going out on a shitty Aston Martin car, isn't it? You'd like to see him have some sort of podiums and things like that, but I just going to whittle down getting the odd point here and there.
The Aston Martin, just to cross-reference, is like a Dementor that's like slowly sucking the soul out of him.
And it's grabbed another one now.
I was going to say, is that what? Is it like
his Patronus, and he's leaving. So thank you, Seb. I think we're going to do another extra podcast in the summer break about his career, and maybe a couple of other drivers as well, because there's been a lot of memories made there. Definitely somebody who I grew up watching, and his rivalries. So we'll talk about it later. Moving on with Aston Martin, Alonso is going to be driving there next year. Is it a 2-year contract? I think that's interesting.
Multi-year, I think it said, didn't it? But
is it?
Yeah. Is this the next step before retirement for Alonso? Is this why he's doing it?
Maybe. Massa was like, it's a strange one in an interview. And I agree. I think there's one thing that I'm thinking, and a couple of people have touched on, will he be there long enough to reap the rewards of an Aston Martin? Or will it be a Vettel swan song couple of years, maybe not even that, and then disappear? What do you think?
I think he'll do a couple of years. I mean, he's been going for that long. He took a break, didn't he, for a while and went to Indy with the passing comment of, I'll come back when you change the regs. I think he'll finish his contract with Aston Martin and then he'll move on. I'm pretty certain that Vettel's going to go over to Indy now.
Do you think?
He'll finish his... Yeah.
I think Vettel... Hamilton touched on this, just going back to Vettel for a second. We've all warmed to him this year, and I think one of the reasons is that he's got more of a persona outside of racing now, with all his activists, and it's really nice to see somebody using their position and their voice in a different discipline for the better. I think that's courageous.
It was on Question Time last week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his retiring video was absolutely sick. Like, what a way to announce it. Like, quality.
Did you cry? You cried, didn't you?
I watched it again straight after. I was like wow.
Yeah.
Did you cry, man?
I didn't cry. No,
I bet you were like, good riddance. Bang.
It was sad. I think that he kind of, with all his activists about like fuel burning and the saving the planet and like that Miami t-shirt where it obviously had about the rising tide, etc. He kind of thought, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I'm bringing my kids up to like save the planet, and he says, there I am jetting off to different races. And so I don't know if I can see him racing. I can see him more in the background trying to push this new fuel. So, and because he showed it in Mansell's old car, didn't he, at Silverstone, that look, you can run this car without the actual fuel that we make now. It's a cleaner fuel, it's a better fuel. Maybe this is his way. But going back to Alonso, I'm not sure who will retire first, Lawrence Stroll selling the team or Alonso leaving Aston Martin. Because let's be honest, he's a businessman. He wants to win, and they're not winning. And his son's shit, and they're still not winning. So he'll probably just pull his money, like bored businessmen do.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think he's pulling some of the greats, Vettel and Alonso, so his son can kind of learn from them.
Yeah, but you can't teach a Ted, can you? You can't polish a Ted.
You can't polish Teds, but you can polish them so far. Yeah. How long is he going to stay?
I think you might be right. I think he'll sell it.
I do. I think
and he'll sell it to one of the clubs. Not one of the clubs. Sorry, one of the engines that want to come into it. You know, like Porsche and stuff like that. I know there's a rumor still around about Porsche taking Red Bull and everything else, but
it's funny you say that because Porsche have bought into Red Bull.
Yeah.
That was my piece, and they've announced it now because it's the break, and maybe a few people can't really get to talk to these people about why and how this happened. So it's quite interesting the way that it's been done, announced now. I think it's a very good move. But I've heard Peugeot maybe want to come back, so that could be interesting. They could move into that position. I think it's only getting bigger with the American ownership, as much as the things I don't like about it. But I think F1 is getting bigger, and I think whoever's got a team is in a good position. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think because the engines are so efficient and clean, I think, and car manufacturers want to get into that because what have we said before? Formula One's the forefront of technology. You do it racing in Formula One, it passes down to your road car. So why wouldn't the big players want to be in it and get a piece of the action at the top end?
But do you think as well, definitely this season, gaming, there seems to be pushing this form, the gaming side of it, like people in simulators driving all the time, pushing the game. Second point, you've seen a lot of what's it called? The second rate series. Is it the FP2 and 3? And their drivers are starting to get quite popular. And
the W series is the women's.
Yeah.
And then you seem to be getting a lot of, I don't know if I watch it obviously on Sky Sports. There seems to be a lot of IndyCar influence coming in as well. Like the races seem to be being pushed more onto us, and it's I think the brand of F1 is only going up.
Mm-hmm.
It's all getting promoted on the F1 channel on Sky. I think it was Sunday night. We just got home, and I turned the TV on, and it was still on the F1 channel, and I forgot what you call it. It was the endurance, the 24-hour endurance race.
Yeah.
And I just thought it's ridiculous that they're televising this because no word of light. It was pitch black because it was nighttime, and all you could see was headlights. You couldn't see what the cars were or anything else like that. It was just dazzling headlights going towards you, and then red lights as it was driving. I was like, why are we televising this? But you can't see anything. I don't get it, but yeah, a lot more is getting plugged. Absolutely.
They keep saying, it's in Drive to Survive, don't they? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
It's got the younger generation, because the Netflix generation, they've watched this program, they think it's as good as drama as it is in that Drive to Survive, and that's what we've said. It's not. But this is their way into Formula One, so it's a new way into Formula One.
Final bit of news. Latifi can win the championship. Mathematically, he can do it, guys. So,
I mean, that's a bombshell. That is a bombshell.
Ridiculous.
Bullshit. I'm not on the podcast. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Williams' strategies ruined it for him this year.
Yeah, they've cost him the title. They've literally cost him that title.
Has he won a point yet? I don't think he has.
Not this season.
Year, no. Not this year, no.
We've come close with some FP3 victories, but
Anyway,
we don't get some bonus
Friday.
Points. Shame you don't get a bonus point for topping the charts on Friday.
One day. Well, that's the news, guys. Have you got anything else to add?
Well, look, me and James have got breaking news.
Yeah.
Probably Adam knows about it as well. Alpine announced Oscar Piastri as the new driver about 2 hours ago. And then on Twitter, Oscar Piastri said, "No, I ain't driving for Alpine." They shouldn't have announced that. I've not signed anything. So, what this space? Yeah, that's awkward.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Anyone got anything else?
It's so funny, isn't it, that Piastri's contract expired on the 31st of July. Alonso announced his retirement. He's moving to Aston Martin on the 1st of August. And today, Alpine are trying to just cram in there that, oh, Piastri, we didn't want you before. Now you're in our seat. Please stay.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to McLaren. I think that might be penciled in, which either means Danny Rick or he's going to be a third or a reserve driver for another year.
That's not a bad shot. Because I woke up this morning and there was like a notification. It was like a Twitter thing on my phone. And all it said was Ricciardo's announced his retirement. And I mentioned it and I was like, I'm sure he's just renewed his contract.
Yeah, he's took his multi.
Yeah. So I looked everywhere. I couldn't find anything else, and I was just like, it's just weird. It's false news, obviously, but it's just like, now that you mentioned that, Adam, you're a little bit like, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that could be a good shout.
But could Ricciardo go back to Alpine, which I think he was? Well, he was there under Renault, wasn't he? A few years ago.
And he was starting to get happy there, so
he was.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Piastri's clearly got something somewhere, hasn't he? Because I mean, I know there's a few drives available. Yeah, it'll be good to watch over the next couple of days, won't it?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Well, should we have a little break before we start the race?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Jesus Christ, guys, come on, fucking
all right.
Bit
then,
of enthusiasm.
Yeah, break! Woo! There you go.
Let's break. Let's quickly break, and we'll be back with the race.
See you soon.
See you soon, guys.
See you in a bit.
This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome back. Part 2, straight to the apex, the Hungarian Ring Grand Prix. Let's get on with the race. So the start was slightly eventful. Albon basically tried to Albon hit Stroll. Ocon nearly put Alonso into the wall.
Yeah.
Max jumped up 2 places. Lewis jumped up 2 places. And then it was the VSC for the debris on the track, which we've already seen.
So, Adam, are you
aware?
Say something.
Are you aware?
George
Adam,
Russell up to his old tricks again.
I was going to say
VSC.
Old tricks.
Stop, Tony. Are you aware, Adam, of Tony's hatred for what happened in the French Grand Prix with Russell overtaking Perez just after the VSC ended?
I didn't know he hated it because, as far as my book goes on that, it was pure quality. He just caught him properly. I mean, you've got to admit it's really clever. He had no other option other than to try and jump the gun for that final lap.
Yeah, Adam. You can have one of them. Hold on.
Right. Okay. Looking back at the previous race, he got him. Mark, you were right. He was messing around with his steering wheel. He was getting so many messages from the engineers and the strategists. And Russell was basically told, be on red alert, wait until this VSC is over and nail him. And Perez was just messing about.
But Russell gambled. He completely gambled because in that last sector, he slowed down and he nearly stopped. And all the commentary were going, what on earth is he doing? He's nearly stopped. If they enable it now, he's buggered. But because he slowed down so much, it meant he could do the rest of the sector nearly at full speed. Now, by pure luck, and I agree, it is an absolute miracle bit of luck that the green light went as soon as he exited that sector on the straight, and he was, 50 mile an hour at least faster than him. So down the straight, it looked like someone was, his brakes were still on.
Mm.
But it was all or nothing for him. If he hadn't have done that, he'd have stuck behind him and done bugger all anyway, and that'd have been it.
So what was the big beef on this one, Tony?
Well, the Ferraris were right behind him, both of them, and the commentators were like, they're on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Then the VSC was called, and it was like, oh, slow down. Again, typical Sky cameras, like, oh, let's look at everything but what's going on, really. And then suddenly the VSC was over, and Russell was nowhere to be seen. And it was like, come on, what the fuck's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
looking back on it though, knowing now that what we know about Ferrari in that race, there was also on mediums, Russell was on softs. Yeah. That wasn't anything dodgy or anything else like that. That was just that. Well, Ferrari was just shit.
Yeah.
I think they were just taking too long firing the tyres up on the mediums.
I think there was a bit of both. I think it was a bit. I kind of, not to the extreme that Tony ranted, but it was a bit naughty from George. However, I do think that, like you say, Ferrari just took too long to warm the tyres up, and George, again, as Adam just said, like in France, George absolutely nailed the green panel start. Boom, gone.
Well, I wasn't happy about it.
Well, yeah,
to say the least, I wasn't happy about it.
I'd be interested to see some more of his reaction times and stuff like that. You remember when they normally show you the reaction times for, like, when the lights go out and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And Bottas, he's always been one of the fastest reactors.
Mm.
Always. I mean, and there was a couple of times as well in, previous seasons at Mercedes and stuff like that where, Vettel or Max or anyone else would just be like, nah, he jumped the gun there, you've got to check it. And there was like, yeah, we've checked it. He's just really bloody quick. I mean, maybe that's just the case of what it is with Russell.
Mm.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, we'll find out after the summer break, won't we, if he's still up to his old tricks. And I fully believe he'll come a cropper. And for that moment, I can't wait. And there'll be another video, and it'll be me celebrating with my top off in my front garden. Anyway,
in your front
moving
garden,
on.
Bloody hell!
In the front garden, if you know what that means, guys. Yeah. Oh,
not
yeah.
the front.
Treat for the neighbours.
Yeah, less said about that, the better. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to subscribe, guys, for that one. Well, as we move on, laps 5 to 7, Max passes the Alpines because they were still squabbling. Hamilton passes Lando, lap 12. Lap 13, Max problems again. Failed 20 this time. Was a bit worrying, but they seemed to get round it quite nicely. Sainz dummy call. Lap 16, and the Mercedes fell for it and pitted. Wow. But did they really? Or was it just Ferrari, circus, opening act? Here we go.
I'm not sure it was a dummy call.
I didn't think
There's part of me thinks that they wanted Sainz to come in, and Sainz was just like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, you can agree with him why you don't trust him. Come in.
Yeah.
Can we have a lap to think about it? Yeah.
Especially when you go look at the comments that Leclerc made after the race as well.
Yeah.
You probably find that both drivers are sitting there just thinking, you know what, maybe I've got a point here. Maybe the fucking Ferrari drivers are both sitting there going, I don't trust any of them.
Leclerc looked broken after the race. Like, literally, all the joy had been sucked out of him. Like, he didn't want to be there, and he just wanted to get back and shout at somebody. Because
he didn't want to come in, did he? He even said, I said on the radio, I was comfortable with the tyres. He was doing awesome. on them on the mediums. He was pulling some right times and yeah, and then all of a sudden it was like, yeah, coming for the hards. He's like, no, I'm comfortable with the mediums. They're doing really well at the moment. Granted, he had to change into a different compound and stuff like that, but you know, maybe they should have stayed out a little bit longer and gone for the softs like Sainz did. But biggest fuck up strategy wise that Ferrari did on that was having both on the same strategy. They knew for a fact, I've got Russell in front, there's us two, and Hamilton's nowhere to be seen. He's right back there, so it's not like Hamilton's going to be there to help out Russell. We can get him really easily. We can do the undercut and we can have this guy. And yeah.
Well, Alpine did the research for him. They put both their cars on the hards, and they were absolutely dire. And what did Ferrari do? They didn't look at that and think, we won't do that. We'll do another medium, then a soft later. We'll go on to the hard. And it didn't work. And they went on to soft later anyway. So like James just said, they did absolute cracking times on mediums, bang another set of mediums on, go for soft. But no, they saw the Alpine didn't work on hards, and they thought, oh, our car's better than theirs, it will. And it didn't. He was crawling, wasn't he? He looked absolutely awful.
Well, Sainz pitted on lap. We'll get to there. We'll get to that lap 39, where literally Ferrari's race just exploded, and every single person who knew something about F1 watched Leclerc pull in and could not believe their eyes when they put the hard tyre on. Speechless at the time I was, and he came out and he just went backwards. But it was all a fuck up, to be honest, because lap 18, Sainz pitted for the first time. It was a slow pit stop, and Russell got 3.7 seconds. Russell got the toe, and Sainz was behind him. So shocking. Few laps later, Leclerc pits, mediums. 24 lap 24. That was a really good pit. It was very quick.
Good pit. Yeah, it was. It works out you need about 19.7 seconds in the pits to actually stay in your position. He only had 22 seconds. He went in, they got it done that bloody quick. He still came out and stayed in his position. Fucking brilliant pit, that. It's just a shame that everything was turned to shit.
Yeah.
Very much so. Alpine had a scrap. They carried on scrapping, and Ricciardo passed both of them, which was very nice to see. Bit of Ricciardo of old. Russell versus Leclerc. Russell defending. I've got to be honest. My ass has gone a few times on this podcast and watching the race, but it nearly went again. It quite literally nearly went again. Edge of the seat stuff. Russell, I knew he was going to try that sneaky inside line and understeer? One of the two. And he nearly got him. He nearly crashed into him. I think it was where the camera angle was. He was defending and then quickly just span out into Leclerc's way. And I was like, you dirty bastard. But it doesn't matter.
I just love the fact that you spend all this time slagging him off wearing a Mercedes hat.
I know.
I'm a Hamilton fan, guys. I'm a Hamilton fan. And it was funny, actually. It was quite interesting what the commentator said. One wants the championship and one wants his first GP. Well, yeah, I quite agree. Lap 39. What can I say? Leclerc pits for hards, Russell for medium. An absolute strategy disaster. Don't know what happened. Don't know what they were thinking. Anybody that was on hards had gone backwards. The track was too cool. The hard wasn't working. Just absolutely piss poor, which leads me on to quite a big question. What is Ferrari's biggest gaffe up to now? Was that it? Or was it Monaco?
The double stack.
Yeah, I'd say that one.
Yeah, that cost a win, didn't it?
Yeah.
Definite win.
But then, like James said, Sunday cost a win. It was 2v1. They could have mirrored Russell. They could have mirrored Verstappen, and they still got it wrong. So
well, he was
maybe that was
leading.
up there. Maybe
He was leading the French GP. He was leading the French GP and just fucked it. I think out of everything, I think this weekend was the biggest because the Red Bulls were miles off it in qualifying. They were right up at the top. They had everything, and they still fucked it up.
Max had time to spin, and he still won.
Yeah.
Max
span, lap 42.
Them tyres are still fairly fresh as well. I was sat there thinking, you fucked them now. You're gonna have some massive black spots there, and pretty certain they're the ones he stayed on for the rest of the race as well, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a perfect 360 though. It was a very nice 360.
He's very good at catching them. He's very good at catching them.
His reactions are awesome.
But I just like the fact he just passed Leclerc, then spun round, and then passed him again.
Yeah, twice in a row.
Ricciardo locks up and hits Stroll.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Yeah,
gets a 5-second penalty. Hamilton on the softs gets the podium. Passes Russell, which was absolutely amazing to see. And it all kind of finished with Bottas, no power. BSC kind of stifled the race out. Rain, like we touched on at the start, just came too late, didn't it? Came a bit too late.
I don't want to use the word disappointing. I mean, we all enjoy a wet race. I do. And right at the start of it, when they said on the radio, look, in a couple of minutes, there's going to be some heavy rain for about 10 minutes and then it'll quieten down. I was sitting there going, oh, it's going to be a fucking good one.
Yeah.
And then nothing happened. And then, towards the end, I think it was in lap 69, just after the VSC came in, and then Russell just suddenly goes, it's coming down hard. And it must have been as well, because, I mean, Max took his foot off the gas.
Yeah.
He had to. He had a decent enough lead. He was able to do it. He was able to coast a little bit more just to keep himself on the track and everything else like that. But yeah, if that had happened a couple of laps, I'm doing ifs, buts, and maybes again, so apologies. But yeah, if that had been a couple of laps sooner, where would Lewis have finished?
Could have won. I think
he was on the soft, so he had better grip.
Yeah, could have won.
And I think
he could. Yeah.
Looking at his interview after the race, he seemed very happy, very excited. And I think he's excited for the second half because he looks on it.
That's 2 double podiums now for Mercedes this season.
Do Mercedes have a reason to be optimistic?
I think so.
Yeah, because there's Ferrari there.
Yeah, part of me thinks so. Not because they've improved the car, because Ferrari is shit.
Yeah.
So
they've got every right. There's like I said earlier, there's about 3 or 4 points in it between Mercedes and Ferrari now in the constructors. There's nothing there, and Ferrari are looking at a shit ton of penalties later on for engines and everything else. And if they carry on with piss poor strategies even, don't know what I just said then, or setting the cars on fire when they go to plan E, you never know.
No.
Never know.
Yeah, but we just need to see what happens with it. Like I said, I need to see what happens with this floor now.
Yeah, that might totally change it.
Totally I mean, it could hinder Red Bull. I don't think it'll hinder Red Bull enough, but I think it could have some comeuppance for him.
Yeah.
Anything else on the race, guys, before I go through the final result?
I actually think that everything that went on between Ocon and Alonso in that race is probably the reason that Alonso did what he did. Because let's face it, Seb had only just announced his retirement, and then it hadn't even been 24 hours. It's literally I think I'd spent about 10 o'clock. I'd only just been at work for about an hour or so. notification pops up on my phone saying Alonso's gone. He's going to Aston Martin. It's like part of you, because if Ocon hadn't done that, when he's coming out of the pit on lap 24 and everything else like that, he gets in front of Alonso, and then he straight away is defending. And while he's fanning about doing that, Ricciardo's just like, you know what, mate, I'm going to take you both. And he flies by. And I'm like, mate, for fuck's sake, just let Alonso go by. Pick your fights. Don't be fighting with Alonso. Let him go by and defend bloody Ricciardo.
Did you hear Alonso's comment? That he said it's some of the worst defending and driving he's ever seen, or something like that, wasn't it? Like, he was angry.
He was pissed.
Livid.
Do you think...
I reckon he got out of the cars, walked straight over to bloody Alpine and just went, "Hi, I'm your new driver, Fernando."
Yeah.
Do you think they already kind of knew it? I think maybe it was all agreed and it was all kind of hush-hush, and that's why, opposite to what you just said, James, do you think that's why Ocon kind of was like, I'm going to put it about here because you're about to announce that you're leaving, so...
I think Ocon puts it about anyway. He's done it quite... He's quite an aggressive driver. I mean, he had that pushing match with Max, didn't he, a few years ago? He's a very aggressive driver in the sense that I don't think he likes to be overtaken or beaten, regardless of who it is. Like, obviously, when he was at Force India, he had the trouble with Hulkenberg, didn't he? Magnussen as well, he's had trouble with. Like, yeah, I just think that is Ocon. Like you say, whether he knew that news and he thought, well, Fernando's now not untouchable, I can piss about with him because he's not God in the team. He's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be right.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, do you reckon Ocon is number one seat at Alpine now? Or do you reckon they'll employ someone, get a new driver to be number one? So do you reckon they'll promote Ocon effectively?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
There was talk of Ocon Gasly on Twitter, but I heard they don't get on, actually, both of them two.
I'm not sure.
Again, it won't surprise me. I don't think Ocon gets on with anyone.
Kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And Gasly just signed a contract. New contract.
He has, yeah. He just signed an extension with AlphaTauri, but they're a mess at the moment, aren't they? They don't seem to be doing anything AlphaTauri. They've had no upgrades that I can think of this year that's put them in contention for anything decent.
Well,
Tsunoda's been very disappointing in his second year, don't you think?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
This race was absolutely garbage for Tsunoda. Even like he said, it was ridiculous. I'm not going to say it in a Japanese accent to quote him, but
please don't.
Yeah, please don't.
He didn't do any race today, and it was a disaster.
That's been the story of the season.
Two laps behind he was. Track limits, he span 1 minute. What was it? 1 minute behind the Williams.
Yeah.
That's poor. That's just poor, Max.
Yeah.
Anyway, Max wins from 10th. Strategy calls, fantastic. What a win for the team. Was it his greatest win?
Nah, it's better than that.
Come back from what? 10th, 7 seconds lead, win, 360 spin.
It's his best win. It's the first time he's actually won a race. Jesus, what's wrong with me today? Won a race.
Won a race.
For wow.
Yeah. It's the first time he's won a race from that kind of position. He's never really done it from anywhere like that.
Yeah.
I think one for
and it was phenomenal. To do it at the Hungaron as well.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
Hamilton second, up from 7th. Russell third. Sainz 4th. Just disaster for Ferrari. Perez up from 11th, 5th. Leclerc 6th. Touched on that interview after the race. Just disappointing. It just looks gutless, doesn't it now? God knows where they go from here. 7th, Norris. 8th, Alonso. He was frustrated by 9th, Ocon, who was not satisfied with his position. Vettel in the points, 10th, up from 18th.
Yeah.
Stroll, 11th, up from 14th. Gasly, 12th. Zhou, 13th. Schumacher, 14th. Ricciardo, disappointing again, 15th. But came out on the hard, and he said it was like driving on ice. There we go. K-Mag, 16th. Albon, 17th. Latifi, the legend that he is, 18th. Tougher than expected, quote. Yuki, 19th. And the only retired driver, Bottas, disappointing 20th. Max leads the championship from Leclerc, 80 points. Perez, 3rd, 85 points off the leader. Russell's 4th, 100 points off the leader. 2 points separates Russell and Sainz. Lewis in 6th, 10 points behind Sainz. Red Bull smashing the leaderboard for the championship. Ferrari, 30 points behind Ferrari. Merck, Alpine, 4th, 99 points. McLaren, 95 points, 5th. So, interesting. Personally, I think Red Bull have got it in the bag.
Yeah, they have now.
And I think unless Ferrari really pull the finger out over this break and some people get their heads together, I can't really see anybody catching Max. I think Max has got it in the bag unless he has a disaster in the first few races. But like Bonotto, is it Bonotto, whatever his name is, said after the French Grand Prix, we need a 1-2 in the Hungarian GP, and it's possible. Well, look what's happened. I think it's happening too many times now, and I just don't think it's not happening this season. I think it's a one-horse race.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next race is Belgium. In 3 weeks' time, second half of the season, we've got the Dutch GP, we've got Italy, Singapore, Japan, Brazil. We'll go back to Mexico, USA, and Abu Dhabi. So some big races left.
Yeah.
Exciting.
One of my favourite races as well.
Yeah.
Singapore is definitely one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Predictions quickly.
Yeah.
Mark, you had Max, Leclerc, Sainz. Is that correct?
No, I had Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton.
Bravo, Tony. Bravo.
So you got 3 points.
Yep.
So you're on 25. James, what can you remind me what you had, please?
So I had Max, Hamilton, and Sainz.
Yes,
so I got 5 points.
5 points equals 25. Unfortunately, I went with Ferrari. Yes, I am a dickhead. Hamilton, 2. Leclerc, Hamilton, Sainz. I get 2 points. I'm on 24. So, yes, James and Mark are back joint leaders with 25, and I am second with a close 24.
Yep.
I'm going to be honest with you now. I just did a Latifi there. I got that bored. I thought, you know what? I can lose.
Yep.
But
quiz
I'm back.
time. Quiz time. Hit me with a quiz, please. Hit me with a quiz.
I'm just going to say, how long's the quiz? How many questions are we? Do you think we can get it in 10 minutes?
10 questions. We can fire through it if you want. We may as well go for it and see how we get on. So
yeah.
I think we'll do. Should we do 5 questions?
Yeah, we'll have a halfway break.
We'll half time.
Yeah. Okay.
And then some more. So 10 questions as usual. Some of them are multiple choice, so you all get one pick effectively. I'll tally up the scores and we'll find a winner at the end of it. So
let's go.
First question. So before Silverstone, where was the last place in the UK where the Formula One GP was held? So previous. Go on, James.
Donington.
It wasn't Donington.
Mark.
Go on, Mark.
Brands Hatch.
It was Brands Hatch,
Ooh.
yeah. So that's one for Mark already.
I was going to say that.
No,
You was going to
Brilliant.
say Ayrton Senna.
Oh, I was about to say this.
Hey, he might be in there. He
Well,
might
he
be
might
in there
be.
somewhere.
Yeah,
this week.
maybe.
So the next one, and we've already covered this, so it might be a bit quick fire, but who was the top of FP3 at this weekend's Grand Prix? Mark.
Latifi.
He was indeed. And a worthy winner as well.
God.
Right. So the next one is a multiple choice one. So you've all got one pick each. And, you can have multiple points for different people. So which out of the whole calendar, which track section is the narrowest out of the following? So which is the narrowest piece of track for the car to get through out of these 4 options? Ready?
Yeah.
Monaco Tunnel, A. Baku's Castle Corner, B. Monaco's Hairpin, C. Or the Singapore Chicane, also called the Singapore Sling. Which is the narrowest piece for a car to get through effectively?
Tony.
We've all got a pick, but go first, Tony.
I think it's B.
You think it's B, which is?
The Castle Corner.
The Castle Corner, right. So one for that.
I'd agree with that, Baku. Yeah.
You're going for the Castle, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the castle.
All for the Castle, and you're all dead right. It is the Castle.
Yeah.
Which
Yes,
is 7.6
Pretty good.
meters.
You all shit.
A very tight piece of track, to be fair. I remember Leclerc went into it a few years ago.
Shock.
Yeah, true. He was in a Ferrari as well.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Yeah, that was it.
That's the one.
So next one. Who currently holds the biggest comeback in the F1 Championship? And this is based on points. So who had the biggest point deficit, overcame it, and won the championship?
Tony.
Go for it.
Lewis.
That's wrong. James and Mark.
Is it current drivers?
It's anyone. So this is just in the history of F1. Who has overcome the biggest deficit to win the championship? Go, James.
You're going for Senna.
I'm going for it. Ayrton Senna.
You're going for Senna? It's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which means Mark gets a free shot at someone.
Rubens Barrichello. Mika Hakkinen. Michael Schumacher.
Raikkonen.
You going with Raikkonen?
Yeah.
It was Seb Vettel. I think James said it.
Wow.
He's already had his go.
Oh.
39 points adrift with 7 races to go, and that was in the 2012 Grand Prix
Wow.
season, should I say.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah,
Wow.
that was the biggest deficit. And of course, if anyone does anything this year, it'll way surpass it, which pretty much tells you how much of a gap it is if they're going to nearly double it to win it. Last one before the break then, question 5. Which team boss famously said or was quoted saying, F1 needs Ferrari much more than Ferrari needs F1?
Tony.
Go for it.
Horner.
It wasn't Horner, no.
Oh.
Go, Mark.
Ross Brawn.
It wasn't, no. Which means, James, you got a free shot.
Is it a Ferrari?
Don't help him out. Shut up.
That's only going to give it help and advice.
Yeah.
It's a Ferrari. It's an actual Ferrari
No.
guy, but I can't remember for the life of me. Who was before? Bonotti.
I'm trying to
needs
remember.
Ferrari much more than Ferrari needs F1. A free shot, James. Anyone?
I've heard it as well.
I've heard it. Yeah.
It's Total Wolf. I'm going with that. Sod it.
Unbelievable. He's got it right.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yep, Toto Wolff
Well
was
in,
quoted
mate.
saying that.
Well done. Right, Tony, crawl out, mate.
So the half-time scores, effectively, are that Tony's got 1 point. And
Yeah,
he's
you're right,
third.
Tony. You've got 1 point. Yeah.
James has got 2 points, second, and Mark's got
Well then, James.
3 points, and he's leading at
Come
the
on,
moment.
James. Come on, James.
Dylan, mate, as long as I get more points than you this time, because last time we had a quiz with Adam.
All right,
Yeah.
mate. Fuck you then. Go fuck yourself, mate. I'll take that back. I'll fucking take that. Congratulations back.
Fucking disgrace!
Right.
Oh, dear.
Back for the second half.
Right.
Oh, it's getting
Right.
tasty, guys. It's getting tasty.
Meeting is being recorded.
Excellent.
Welcome back.
Right.
Go
Go
on.
for it, Tony.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm leading this podcast, by the way, guys, viewers, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary people, and this is part 3, middle of a very tight quiz. Mark's leading at the minute. James is a very close second, and I'm an even closer third.
Tony is the equivalent of Nicholas Latifi.
In all walks of
Very-
life, Adam. All
very-
walks of life.
Promising in practice, but when it comes to the main event, just making sure we don't get lapped twice. To be honest.
Sorry. Sorry. I've got the trophy.
Oh,
Sorry.
look at that greedy bastard on his fucking sofa in his Mercedes shirt. Look.
Just remember, one of them trophies is already mine, Mark, from when I beat you last time.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. I'll
Wow.
give you the biggest one.
So, at the midpoint, we are indeed 3 to Mark, 2 to James, 1 to Tony. So, question number 6. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Toto, I think, was very, very correct in his comment about F1 needs Ferrari more than Ferrari needs F1.
Money in it. They get a huge payment, don't they,
Yeah, they
every
do.
year just for existing.
Yeah, they do.
So,
Ferrari.
their
I remember-
name is.
I think I remember Jeremy Clarkson saying
Jeremy Clarkson.
when Clarkson when he used to be on Top Gear back good old days, the good old days. If those don't remember, he said that when Ferrari were doing crap at F1, the road cars were amazing.
Yeah.
And again, very, 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 very true. Very true.
Yep.
Anyway,
let's get to the important shit that we're all dying for. Let's go.
Question.
Quizmasters in the house. Let's go.
Question number 6. Which driver won 3 F1 World Championships for McLaren, but unfortunately died while leading the 1994?
Johnny.
Go for it.
Senna.
It is indeed.
Get in there!
He's been-
Yes! Get in!
He's been reading his book. He
Yeah.
has read his book.
Sorry, don't
I was already sitting there nodding, going, I know it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He must
Thank
have
you,
read
guys.
his book.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me get that one, because I have mentioned it on the podcast before. And if I'd have got that wrong, Jesus Christ, I probably would never have come back on here ever again.
Oh,
Let me just mark that point down.
Yeah, you have that point now.
Oh, that's 2 questions on Ayrton Senna you've got right now. Just realised.
You're on a roll.
Yeah.
You might get a third one and then die the week after. No, I won't say that. That's dark. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
dear.
Tone, I don't mean it. It's all bants.
I didn't hear him. I
Love
wasn't
you,
listening.
really. Sorry.
Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I've got the lucky charm that Ferrari sent me, by the way, guys.
What? It's a hard tyre.
So I'm holding on to it. Come on.
Come on.
One good at the weekend. So, question 7. Let's move on. What was the previous name of Alpha Tauri?
Mark,
Go for it.
Toro Rosso.
Funny.
It was Toro Rosso. Mark got the point. So, next one's a multiple choice. So, everyone has a dig in. Who has competed the most laps in Formula One? This is in history. So, is it A, Kimi Raikkonen, B. Seb Vettel, C. Michael Schumacher, or D. Fernando Alonso?
Jimmy,
Go for it.
it's Kimi Räikkönen.
You're going for Kimi Räikkönen.
Kimi Räikkönen.
You're going for Kimi as well,
Yeah.
Mark? Tony?
I'm going to go Kimi Räikkönen.
He's going to
Kimi
copy us too, isn't he?
How about a bonus point for how many races he did?
So, I wish I knew the answer to that one, but the answer is actually Alonso, and it was surpassed this week, I believe. He beat the man himself, Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh, really?
So if I'd have
What's
asked
really
that
annoying
question
is,
2 races ago, you'd have been right.
I'm gonna say what's really annoying is I think it was last week's quiz that I did. I had that question. Who's had the most laughs?
Yeah, you did.
No.
And that's why I was
it was
so
Kimi, right? That's why I was all like, oh yeah, it's Räikkönen, yeah.
That's why he was spot on. But it were in
Bollocks.
news, obviously, that he just passed the record. Hence the reason.
I'll be
mention
honest,
it in the
I
race,
thought it
didn't
was
they?
Alonso.
Did they mention it in the race? I didn't.
Yes,
They did. That's where I
Yeah.
picked it up. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But
Oh,
you two went Raikkonen, and I thought I am going to be a fucking dickhead here if I go Alonso, and I'm wrong, and you're right.
Right, I'm
like,
calling bullshit. No chance. Did you
It-
know the right
honestly,
answer? And me and James got
yes.
it wrong. Bullshit. Not
That's
a
You
chance.
should have been a dickhead, mate. You'd
That's
have been
fine.
leveled up with Mark.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's fine.
yeah, but you're not.
No, because Mark's on 4.
Yeah.
So, next one. It's quick fire.
Okay.
Which previous driver was nicknamed the Flying Scot and competed in Formula One between 1965 and 1973?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Jackie Stewart.
It is
Yep.
Jackie Stewart, yeah. Winning 3 World Driver Championship, finishing twice as runner-up in 9 seasons. So, final question. And it is a multi-choice one. So, who this season has the fastest pit stop? Is it A, Haas, B, Red Bull, C, Merck, or D, McLaren?
James,
Go for it, James.
it's McLaren.
You're going McLaren. Mark?
I mean, I could be an absolute dick here and just copy James, couldn't I?
You could do.
I think it's Red Bull.
You think it's Red Bull?
Yeah.
Tony?
Just can you give me the answers again, please?
So it's A, Haas, B, Red Bull, C, Mercedes, D, McLaren. Who has the fastest pit stop this season? And when I say pit stop, I'm talking about, when it starts that timer on the telly once they get parked in pit box.
It was this race, wasn't it?
This season. I don't think it was this race, but I might be proven wrong. The team, I seem to remember it being earlier, but I'm not going to tell you.
I think it's either Red Bull or Mercedes. I don't think it's McLaren at all.
You go with.
He always does this with the last question, doesn't he?
Oh, no.
And just
I'm
to
going
add
to take
more,
20 minutes.
add to more bit of tension for this, James and Tony currently have 2 points each. So whoever gets this right, or if you both go the same, you're going to go to a tiebreaker. If it is right, I'm not saying it is. So there's a lot of pressure on this.
A lot of pressure, Tone. Oh, look at him now. Now he's thinking. Now the pressure's on.
So you could copy James, and then we'll definitely go to a tiebreaker. Or you could just stick it on the line now. Possibly, if you don't think James is right, go for something else.
Be your own man.
Yeah.
Yeah. For once in your
What
life.
would Nicholas Latifi do?
This is a huge moment.
Crash.
I think it's Red Bull.
You think it's Red Bull. So, Mark's won the competition with 5 points anyway.
Wait. Can I just add? I think it was Perez, and I think it was 2.1 seconds, I think.
Oh, are you Googling that off screen?
No.
No.
Mark won with 5 points.
But if I get this right, then I get 3 points, and I'll draw with him.
So
Sorry,
the fastest
T-Dog.
pit stop was Red Bull with 2.19 seconds this season. But you can't have 3 points for that because that. And I don't know
But
if
who was it?
Perez
Who was
or
it?
Max.
Who was it?
I don't know if it was
Who
Perez
it?
or Max, but I'm
Who
going
was
to
it?
Google. He's definitely been Googling it.
Oh, come off it. James, he's beat you by cheating.
I think there was a bit of cheating there. I'm not having that.
Why don't you take his lap off him for track limits and go to a sudden death between James and Tony?
I'm up for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't get it that right. Like, I don't even know what race, whether it was Perez or Verstappen, and I made the quiz. I Googled the answers, so...
Do you know what? The winner, I've won, so...
Yeah, you've won, definitely. But for second place, let's
the
go
winner
to
gets a trophy. The winner gets a trophy. It's all on the line. Put your phone away, cheating git.
Yeah, phone away, because you could technically Google this, but phone's away.
I think we should sit here with our hands like this as well.
Yeah,
So
put your hands up.
Yeah,
hands
you
up.
can do it. So, how many races? So it's closest to.
Why are we doing this?
Because you're both joint second at the moment.
I fucking got that point.
How many races has Seb Vettel won in his career? How many has he won?
41.
Good question.
You're going
James,
40. Go, James.
38.
41.
James has gone 38. Tony's gone 41. He's won 53 races in his career. So Tony is the closest. We can't even bring it back on it. We tried to swindle him, and it.
Go for the next question. Let go another one. Go another one.
I wish I had more questions.
Why you on a roll or something? You've lost, you idiot. Well done, Tony. You get
Thank
a
you.
Yeah,
trophy.
well played, mate.
You get a trophy. Now, let's be honest, cards on the table. Did you cheat for the pit stop one?
No.
Can you say that with a straight face, please? Because you're smirking.
No.
Just be honest. If you did, you did. Now it can happen.
I didn't.
Did you cheat
No, I
for the
didn't.
pit stop one?
No, he
No.
answered your question. He can't say it with a straight face.
No, true.
I didn't cheat.
Did Beth Google it for you, or did Beth know? Because she watches more Formula One than you.
No.
No.
He didn't Google it. He used Bing.
Use me.
Comment.
So much fishy here. I don't.
It is, isn't it? To get it to the
Yeah.
exact.
Fuck off. I know my shit. I should have gone Alonso on that last question. So, again, every quiz, there's always one thing that I just don't go with my gut. I end up in.
And you know what? It was at the previous race that they got that 2.19 as well. I'm just looking now at the stats.
And was it Perez? Or done it say?
I'm sure it was. Because I remember
Sergio
seeing it.
Perez. Sergio Perez.
Thank you.
I'm not having
I remember seeing it, and I knew that is going to come up as a question, 1,000%.
Right, I'm not
1,000%.
going to embarrass you here, but you say you remember your wife to be sent us a video of you asleep. So I'm sorry, but you haven't remembered at all. What a load of shit.
There's been a couple of times I've wanted to put that on the socials. Like, do I?
What can I say? I have supernatural abilities. That's all I can say.
Your credibility has gone. I don't trust a word you say anymore.
You know what? Next podcast, right? Next podcast next week, we'll do a little special, touch on Vettel and whatnot. But I think we should do like a different type of quiz where we all come up with questions. And say, like, I come up with a question and I ask you to, yeah? Whoever gets the right answer gets the point. And then, say it's James asks me and Mark a question. And whoever gets it right gets the point. So you've got to come up with some really good questions to try and not get the other person to get a point. You get what I mean? So if you come up with a really difficult question, they could both get incorrect answers, but then when James asks me and Mark a question, I might get it right. I think that'll add a different dynamic. Very different dynamic.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say to you. Adam is the fairest quizmaster of us all.
Mm-hmm.
He's impartial. You're just a cheating twat.
To know exactly who and what time and what race even.
I'm honest to God, I did not cheat.
Oh, and it's not like we've got recorded evidence that he knows fuck all, really. I mean, you know.
There was a long pause between he answered. There was a long pause. That phone was definitely under the camera.
Oh, no way!
I definitely heard a "Hey Siri."
That's what it's like. Hey Google.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. Well, I did not cheat.
Yeah.
I did not cheat. Did not cheat.
Well, listeners and viewers,
Change his name to Massey now.
Yeah, you make your own. Yeah, where's Michael Massey to
there he is.
No, Mikey, no! Don't do this.
Have you heard he's been forced to sign a non-disclosure agreement?
Has he?
That basically proves it was all rigged.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw a clip the other day actually, and it was one of the Max Verstappen fan tour buses, and on the back of it,
on the back.
Yeah, have you seen it? They've literally put that speech.
No, Mikey, no.
No, Mikey, no. It's like, oh, dick.
Oh,
absolute top level banter. That
we need to make t-shirts with this shit on. Honest to God.
Amazing. Yeah. Next one is definitely Tony is a cheat. That is definitely
bullshit. Right then. Well, anything to add? Belgium, 3 weeks time. We'll do a podcast, I think, next week, maybe a week after as a special. Maybe we'll have to come up with something. But yeah, exciting weekend. Strategy is a big thing in F1. And this week, it was definitely the biggest talking point.
Can someone tell Ferrari it's a big thing in F1? I think they keep letting.
Will Ferrari come back? I don't think they will.
No.
Will Max Verstappen sail into the sunset? I think he will. Well, yeah, that's about it. Anything else to add?
Nope, not from me.
No.
Any burning questions?
Cheating bastard. No, nothing.
Nothing?
Nope.
Well, what? We'll just have to leave it there, won't we? Anyway, guys, I didn't cheat, for the record. But thank you for listening and watching. We're on all social media platforms. YouTube, watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music. You name it, we're there. Except for Pornhub, we're not there. Yeah, thanks to Andy.
That should be our t-shirt.
Except
we're not on Pornhub.
Not yet, in brackets.
And then just on the back, hashtag S2PP.
But yeah, no, thanks for watching. Please comment. Please send us messages. Tell us what you think. But yeah.
Thanks to Adam again for joining us.
That's quite all right, guys.
Cheers, Adam.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam.
Well, we'd rather have you than, the other twat.
What a son of a bitch.
Yeah. He knows what he's done.
He knows. Like Max, the title is tainted, isn't it?
That is a guilty man.
Tainted.
I knew that.
You just let the 4 laps cars go by. Cheers, mate.
What a way to ruin the quiz. I think
I knew that. I knew that. It's a shame you guys didn't, but I did.
But
you can say
the bit that confuses me is how do you go from not knowing it to 30 seconds later knowing everything about it?
Every detail.
Because
yeah.
That's what's in my mind. That's what's in my mind, but I'm battling against it. Like, I'm doubting myself. Like the Alonso, because they said it in the race.
Tony, just leave it there, mate. I don't think you're going to win this battle. There's 3 of us v you. Yeah, you've.
I've got nothing else to say. Nothing else.
I do love you, mate, but I fucking hate you right now.
If you can live with a guilt and knowing that you've cheated James out of a little mini trophy, hey, that's on you. That's on your shoulders, son. If you want to make an apology in a video next week, that's up to you.
Yeah.
I didn't cheat. And if you want me to do a Sebastian Vettel style video saying that, then I'm more than happy to do that on camera.
When you're ready to tell the truth, you can do a little video like Seb, because he won't lie. He won't lie. Not like you.
Right then.
Not like you. You should take that hat off in shame.
What an end! What an end to such a great first half of the season. You'll have to tune in, guys, I suppose, to the next half to see if I can prove my name and plead my innocence. Hopefully, I won't shit myself. But there'll be more swearing. That's all I can say. One day we will beat Mark, and when that happens, trust me, everybody will know. Everybody will know.
It'll be bigger than the England ladies winning on the
It will.
It'll be massive. I even think we've got a draft, send people into the podcast to beat him, and I've got one person in mind.
Charlie.
Yeah. I am worried.
Yeah. Charlie coming into a quiz on this would be like, buddy, when Darth Vader turns up in Rogue One.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In a corridor like that, and then also you just see white lights, red lights. Go.
I was thinking more New Hope. You know, when the first scene where all the Republic are like fighting back, and then suddenly out of the smoke comes Vader, just fucking annihilates Mark like this.
I mean, it would be nice to have the challenge, if I'm honest, lads. You know.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I'd love to. Honestly, maybe we should get it on pay-per-view. It'd be that big. Like,
what, me and Charlie head to head like that before
two juggernauts of the F1 game against each other. I mean,
she'd beat me hands down. There's no question about that.
I've got a memory of last week when somebody mentioned that I'd called Sebastian Ocon Esteban, and she just looked at me in absolute disgust. Like, she looked at me as if to say, like, who the fuck are you? Like, her eyes went through me, like through me, and I was like, whoa, this has just put me off my hollandaise sauce with eggs. Like, whoa. Do I leave now or do I stay? I'm not sure. Yeah. Oof. I'll never forget that stare. But anyway, I'll get it back. I'll win one. And hopefully she will then accept me. But until that day, we'll never know. Never know. Right then, guys. Have a good night.
Same to you. See you later.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.
Smile for the thumbnail.
See you later, guys.
So there we go. What do you think to that? Big thank you to Mark, James, Tony and Adam for being the Formula One guys to go to. Big thank you for you for listening or watching. There is the video, don't forget. Before I let you go, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Do share the podcast around. Drop in reviews you might want to drop. And if you want to check out our website, it's thecookiecast.com. There's social media links and an email button so you can get in touch with these guys. Tell them how much you love their podcast. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye and I'll see you then.